All right, Patrick, we are live on Facebook. Just give me a minute for me to share it on some other platforms as well.
Too tech savvy. I don't know how to do all those everything on multiple platforms.
I'm learning it. But
Good.
it could be quite a task actually.
Yeah.
And sometimes technology fails us,
Oh
like
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So
Are you pretty active on social media?
we do have someone in-house who does our social media for us.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say I am, but she
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
I just try to come on as often as possible to to see if there's maybe a special message for me or
Yeah.
to just try to see what's going on and what the feedbacks are like and things like that. But that's about it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good that you have someone that's dedicated to that and then you're not overwhelmed with everything.
exactly. And that's
Yeah.
one of the reason we're kind of encouraging clients to email us as
Mhm.
opposed to social media
Yeah.
because there's just too much
Yeah,
going on. So we need to be able to kind of structure things as well.
for sure.
All right. So we can begin. And first of all, Patrick, it's always a pleasure to see you. We always have
Yes.
such good conversations and laugh. And it's really good to communicate with CELPIP because I always say it's one of those organizations when you contact them, somebody answers, right? You always feel like there's a human behind the screen.
Yeah.
So we would like to welcome Patrick Maccarone, Business Development at CELPIP by Prometric. So thank you very much for your time today. You could be anywhere, maybe Colombia, but you choose to be on with me today. So I appreciate that. If you want to just give some welcome remarks or introduce yourself better than I just did, please feel free.
Did pretty well, so I don't know if I can top that. So yeah, thanks. It's always a pleasure working with you. And yeah, I've been with CELPIP for over 7 years. I've worked in different departments for the company, so customer service, business development, test center operations. So it's given me like a broad perspective of what our goals are and also what the test taker experience is taking our tests. So yeah, a couple other things about me. I have a bachelor's degree in social work from a university in Toronto. I've also worked a lot in the nonprofit sector, helping newcomers with various settlement related matters. So I've helped them edit their resume, look for work, enroll in like language classes. So yeah, that experience has also been good for me because I've learned about the challenges that newcomers face when they come to Canada and integrating, settling. So, yeah, very happy to be here and happy to answer any questions as well that the audience has about the self-exam.
Awesome. So would just like to encourage the participants, if you have any questions as we go through, just drop them in the chat and I will stop as they come on and kind of have a dialogue with Patrick at that point in time. But this is meant to be one of our short and sweet weekly um, Facebook Lives. We do one every Mondays and Wednesdays, same time, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, but they're always in Mandarin, which is one of our consultants. She's a native from China. And so she hosts regular weekly lives on Facebook in Mandarin. So if anybody's interested, please log on to our Facebook page to plug into those. And you do have the opportunity to ask questions to a consultant live. So that's pretty awesome. Today it's going to be a very casual talk. It's not anything formal, but we do have such of a sort of an agenda to follow, I guess, to make this even more fun and communicative. So we'll start off, Patrick. This is all you. For those who are on who maybe don't know about CELPIP, can you just give us a brief history on CELPIP, Prometric, Kale, um, just so that we can get an idea of who you guys are as an organization?
Yeah, for sure. So CELPIP and Kale are the two tests that we offer at Prometric. The tests have been around for about maybe just over 10 years. So they're still fairly new, but I've realized that now a lot of people have heard of CELPIP, maybe not so much Kale, but a lot of people have heard of CELPIP now. Um, yeah, so I actually, CELPIP was made at the University of British Columbia, so it's a Canadian-made test. And then a company called Paragon, which is Canadian, bought the test from the university. And I used to work on the original Paragon team. So a couple of years ago, a big American assessment company called Prometric bought Paragon. So then everyone on that team moved over, and we're all now under the Prometric umbrella.
Oh,
So yeah, it is still a Canadian test though, because the people that work on CELPIP and Prometric are all typically Canadian. So it's Canadian made, Canadian managed. Um, but yes, Prometric acquired CELPIP and Kale. So Prometric is a big assessment company. They offer all different kinds of testing, like career-based testing, so nursing exams, IT certification exams, different career-based exams around the world. So now CELPIP and Kale are under their English language portfolio. So Prometric itself tests in 160 countries.
well,
So they have exam centers in all different countries offering different exams. CELPIP is growing rapidly
yeah.
thanks to the acquisition by Prometric. I think we have over 170 test centers for CELPIP
Oh, wow.
wide, and pretty much every month we're opening in a new city or country. So you could follow us on Instagram or check our website. That's the best way to stay up to date with all of the new test centers that we're opening up in. But yes, CELPIP is a general English test that is accepted for the Canadian permanent residency process. So it is one of the options you can take. I believe there's three options. So definitely explore your options to, excuse me, explore your options to, find out what's the best test for you. What's the test that will show your English the best way. So Kale is an academic English test that we have. So if you need an academic English test to study at a Canadian university or college, then the Kale test is accepted. Both of our tests are computer delivered. You have to go to the test center, take them on a computer, and yeah, and they both have a similar price point as well, $290 plus tax in Canada. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a summary there.
Yeah, thanks for that. I know there are other tests out there, but honestly, Patrick, I guess I'm biased
Mhm.
because I have taken both tests that the two major ones.
Yes.
And honestly, I find that if well, my native language is English. So let's just say test one and CELPIP. I've done test one and I found it to be a bit of a pain in the butt. Um, and ridiculously difficult for no reason because it's really not meant to test how well you know big words, for example, right? It's
Yep.
really a test of, like it says, your language proficiency, right?
Mhm.
And I found that when I did CELPIP, it was less hectic, less scary.
Okay.
It was more user friendly. That's how I usually say it. So I always do encourage my clients to take CELPIP. Even when I write the report, CELPIP is highlighted in yellow.
Mhm.
Um, recommended, right? So I really push clients to take that test. And for those whose native language is not English, I find that they do better on CELPIP tests, especially after going through like preparatory programs.
Okay.
So again, I know you're being modest, is like choose which one is best for you. No, choose CELPIP. That's what I tell my clients. Go for CELPIP. And again, it's Canadian made, it's Canadian managed, which we support our own too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Um, in terms, and you mentioned Canadian immigration. So I actually didn't give an introduction of myself at the beginning, but I am Thaisa. I'm a licensed immigration consultant. Tabula Rasa Immigration is my business, and we're based out of Ottawa, Canada. We are networking partners with CELPIP Prometric, which I'll ask Patrick to explain that a little bit more. So we're hosting this event today because a lot of immigration changes are occurring now. And one of them is a big change where anyone who studied in Canada who's eligible for a postgraduate work permit are now required to take a CELPIP exam or now required to take a language proficiency. See, I just made it CELPIP. They're now required to take a
Should
language proficiency. I know, right? I should be marketing, Patrick. Put in a good word for me. So we have Patrick on here for those who are really not familiar with CELPIP, to get an idea of what the exam is and also to get a feel of the people behind CELPIP, right? Which I think is really important. And like I said at the beginning, really love CELPIP because of the communication that we can have with you guys on the other side. You never feel like CELPIP won't answer you or CELPIP won't have that relationship. And before you, Patrick, you guys had Kim, and Kim was the first one that I worked with. And then there was an event in Ottawa, and Kim came, and she made sure she reached out to me, and we met for coffee.
have.
So again, it just goes to show that there's you guys are real personable, and I think I really love that about CELPIP, which is why I'm biased, but it's really because of the relationship that you're able to build with CELPIP, right?
Yeah,
But on that note, can you tell us a little bit more about the networking program, which I just mentioned?
for sure. Yeah. So we have like a partnership program. It's called the CELPIP network where you can apply. There's pretty much two ways you can apply to partner with us through the network. So you can apply as like an immigration agent or education agent, and you can also apply as a preparation provider. So if you're like a company or a school or organization that wants to offer preparation classes for CELPIP to your students or clients. So it is a free application, so it's free to apply.
Right.
Once you're approved to be an official partner of our tests, CELPIP NCAL, you will get like a business account that has different tools in it. We will put you on our website as an official CELPIP partner. Um, you'll get exclusive study products that you can pass on to your clients. You'll get discounts on buying study materials in bulk. And then, like, for example, if you're partnering with us as an agent, then you're going to get the ability to register your clients for the test, or they can register themselves. But yeah, you'll get access to our logos and branding, so you can put on your website, that you're a CELPIP official network partner. So we're still fleshing out this program. It's fairly new. So in a year from now, there might be a lot more benefits of joining us. But it's a good opportunity to leverage each other's brands to grow our businesses. So it works for both sides very well. So that's a little bit about the process.
Right. We have a question here, Patrick, if you're able to answer.
Mhm.
I have taken CELPIP twice and always score 8 in reading, and I need a 9. Can you guys suggest what I can do to improve the score?
I would say for reading, so So we do, first of all, we have a lot of practice materials. We have on our YouTube channel, we have like a Reading Pro webinar that I would recommend you to check out. It's like an hour to 75 minutes long lesson that you can watch on demand. So it's called the Reading Pro, and that's taught by one of our CELPIP instructors. So that is a good tool. You also have preparation programs like what Tahisa offers. They have instructors there too, which are CELPIP certified. Just a couple things for reading. It is multiple choice. You don't lose marks for guessing incorrectly. So just make sure you've answered every single question on the reading component, because you don't lose marks if you guess wrong. So there's no harm in just selecting an answer for each question.
Right.
Another thing is you have to get good with you read the question and then you have to look for keywords in the paragraphs that relate to the question, because that will help you quickly locate where the answer is. So if the question that you're answering is talking about coffee, for example, then you want to go look at the reading paragraphs and you want to look for keywords that relate to coffee. So maybe paragraph 2 is talking about Tim Hortons or Starbucks, and that will help you to quickly locate where the answers are to these reading questions. So basically skimming and scanning for keywords is a really integral skill to learn to quickly move through the reading section and locate where the answers are. But if you're given a whole reading passage, you don't want to spend a lot of time trying to read and understand every detail in the reading. You want to just, for example, you could read the first sentence of every paragraph to get the main idea, and then just start answering your questions and, locate keywords that relate to each question you're trying to answer.
Right.
So
I realize a lot of questions coming up are really about, I get this grade, how can I improve? So like Patrick said, we do the preparatory courses. So we have a few coming up starting January 20th, I believe.
awesome.
Each week, so Mondays to Thursdays, we have AM and PM classes, but you work with an instructor. That instructor is actually certified by CELPIP, and Patrick will tell us a little bit more about that. And they host, these classes will actually be group classes, 3 hours AM, 3 hours PM, and they meet the requirement of the 18 hours per module that CELPIP advises us to follow. So if you want some classes where you can actually have someone to ask questions, have someone to work with you, these might be a good options to help you raise your score. There's no guarantee, but at least there is someone that you can ask, like, why this, why not that, so that you could get coached. If you prefer one-on-one, we also have the option for one-on-one classes. So I posted the company's website in there. We do have a chat box if you just want to inquire more. Just send us a message and someone from the office will respond to you. We will send more information about those as well. But Patrick also mentioned that CELPIP actually hosts a lot of lives where they go through different tests as well. And these are very useful. Do you guys have a particular schedule for those, Patrick?
Were you referring to like webinars that we host, or
Yes, the
yeah.
webinars.
Yeah, we do a lot of webinars. We do like Instagram lives with immigration
Right.
agents like yourself. We
Yeah.
do different webinars, but they all cover the immigration process. So some of them
Right.
are focused on CELPIP only. Some of them are focused on CELPIP plus information on immigration programs. So we do dual webinars. We have a lot of live webinars that we run every week that you can register for. But if you're not able to attend those webinars at particular times, then we have recordings on our YouTube channel that you can watch on demand whenever you have some free time, you're finished work, things like that. So lots of webinars, and we will, I'm sure we'll be doing another webinar with you, Tahisa, very soon as well.
Absolutely.
So keep a lookout for that.
Let's host one in Jamaica, Patrick. How about that?
Sounds good. Yeah. Hopefully the company can pay for my flight and
Agreed. All right. So as we're speaking about the preparatory programs, I don't know if that's something you have some inside information on, but what is the training like for a certified CELPIP preparatory program instructor? Is that something, again, I don't know if it's in your department per se, but if you could speak on that.
for sure. Yeah. So we now have two levels of CELPIP instructor training. So it's for people that have at least 1 year of English teaching experience or
Okay.
1 year of experience, similar experience, maybe facilitating English test prep classes. So if you have that kind of background, then
Mhm.
you're free to take the self-directed online instructor training. So we
Right.
have two levels. Level one is just going to give you pretty much like a general orientation to CELPIP. So learning about the format, the pricing, locations, available study materials. And then level two is more in depth. So we recommend that our instructors go through level one and two,
Yes.
because level two talks about like how to implement this knowledge into a prep class situation. So yeah, so they're totally free. They equip you to be able to facilitate CELPIP prep classes. And we also give organizations curriculum that's pre-developed that they can use to facilitate the classes either virtually or in person. So it's like 72 hours worth of curriculum.
Yes.
So this is created directly by CELPIP that organizations can tap into, and they can add their own personal touch to it. So if they want to expand upon it, if they want to condense what's given to them, it's totally up to them.
Right.
But it is created by CELPIP. They can tap into.
And I can speak on that. I mean, again, we're a networking partner, so we have all these materials, and
Mhm.
it's really good. And again, being someone who took CELPIP, I think I just took it once because we had to do it to become a licensed immigration consultant.
Right.
So I took it once, and then becoming a networking partner, I'm also a trained instructor by CELPIP as well. Going through the material that you all provide us, it's really good because it's a good representation of what's on the test. And I remember before taking the test, I went through some of the study materials, and I know someone in the question and answer asked her where to get the study materials, but they're available on CELPIP's website. Patrick, if you're able to just type the website in the chat, please, so that they can have it. But the study material, one thing I liked about it, and I know sometimes we don't like to invest in ourselves financially, but it is worth more to you to spend that extra 200, 250 ahead of the exam to be able to take the exam and pass and be done, as opposed to taking the exam 4 times at 250, right? Um, when I use the study material, it really coached you on what to expect um, from the questions that are being asked of you on the exams. So again, you would be given an image and they would say, describe the image. And you might just say, there is a gentleman in a blue jacket and a black fan. But then CELPIP is really looking for in the forefront, there is a gentleman with a blue jacket. In the background, there is a cream picture or painting of birds on a line, like it's asking you to be descriptive like that. And had I not gone through the study material, again, even being a native English speaker, I would have maybe not got the 9 that I needed, right? So it really coaches you on the expectations of the grader and the expectations from you as the test taker, and not just, oh, do you know big English words? That's really not what it's looking for. And I think that is a misconception of a lot of the test takers, where we see native English speakers getting 6 and 7s. and they're pissed off because it's like, oh, I know English, but that's not what it's asking you for, right? So invest in those study materials. They are very useful. Again, you could find them on CELPIP websites. Invest in the preparatory programs because that's what the instructor does. They advise you on what they're looking for, what the test takers are looking for, and what is expected of you as a test taker. So I hope that's helpful to those of you who are on. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Patrick, before we move on.
Yeah, I would just second what you said that it's very important to know. Like typically, you're always going to do better if you already know what to expect. You don't want to be going in blind taking the exam.
Yep.
So just get to know the format. That way, you don't. There's no surprises when you're taking the exam. For as an analogy, you may know how to drive, but you still have to learn how to pass the driving test. You need to know all the rules to
Right.
ace the exam. So same with CELPIP, you might be a native speaker, but you're going to do better by default when you know what to expect. And like you said, what raters are looking for when they're grading you. You want to make sure you're hitting those points. So yeah, we have a lot of free material out there. Um, in my opinion, I agree with Thaisa. Like it's much better to spend a couple $100 on prep where you have that
Yeah.
time with the instructor, and then you ace your exam on the first time, than taking the test 7 times trying to prepare by yourself. So take advantage of what they offer. They're CELPIP certified in the training that they offer, and they have different options. So if you want to learn in a group environment with other
Yeah.
students, want to learn one-on-one with the teacher, it's worth spending the money because then you might only have to take CELPIP once or twice, and then you're done,
Exactly.
and you can focus on other requirements that you have to meet. So
Absolutely.
yeah, because I've seen people take the test several times, and maybe what they're missing is that preparation environment with the instructor to
Right.
really get them over the line. So yeah.
Absolutely. Um, a lot of the questions coming in is to have access to the free material. So, Patrick, if you and I can maybe work together to prepare, or if you could give me the links or wherever it is, so at the end I can send an email to about the preparatory classes we have coming up in January, but also the free material that you spoke about. If we could provide them with some links so they have access to the material as well. CELPIP's Instagram page and all of that, if we could just put it into one
Definitely.
document to send
Yeah.
off. So I'll follow up with you on that one.
Great. We'll actually give everybody today an exclusive study product for attending the session. So I will include that when
Awesome.
I give you that information, and then you can send it
Nice.
out to everybody.
You didn't tell me that.
I like to leave some surprises.
Some surprises. I like that. Okay, there you guys go. So you're lucky for signing up and joining us. All right, so that's great news, Patrick. Thank you so much for that. So I promised you we're just gonna be half an hour, so I have 3 more minutes. But 3 more minutes that is very exciting to me because ever since I met you, I've been pushing for CELPIP in the Caribbean. And you guys are finally here. If I know Zoom has this thing, like if I did this, it would have showed balloons, but it's not doing it, so I'm not getting my side effects. But can you tell us about the CELPIP in Jamaica? Like where is it located? Just give us some scoops.
Sure. Yeah. So we finally opened a CELPIP test center in the Caribbean. So it's in Kingston, Jamaica, which I believe is the biggest city in Jamaica. Yeah. So you can take the test. The test in Jamaica is $220 plus tax. You would book it the same as always on the CELPIP website. So that's where you would complete your registration and your payment for the exam. Um, yeah, we also will be opening soon. It's not really the Caribbean, but it's in the same vicinity. So we're going to be opening in Costa Rica early next year.
Okay.
And I'm sure there's going to be other countries coming on board in that area, possibly Dominican. So we're trying to uh give people in that area another option so that there's not only one English test that they can take. We want them to have another option for their immigration process to Canada. So yeah, so the test dates are live in Jamaica. If you're in Jamaica, you can book a test right now. We have a lot of test dates available. And yeah, I would say, follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram ID is CELPIP Test Official. So that's our handle on Instagram. And we notify test takers on there about new locations we'll be opening in the Caribbean. But finally we're here. So just look for more locations to be opened up soon in Jamaica, different cities, in other parts, hopefully Dominica too, knock on wood. So
Knocking, Patrick, knocking. I'm pushing for that one. So we
yeah,
just had well, we have one person in the chat who says yes, one in Dominican Republic. We
awesome.
had another one that says yes, one in Grenada. So you see, you have the support of the Caribbean people,
Right
Patrick.
on. Yeah,
But it means a lot to us because for years we've only had test one in the Caribbean. And again, it was either available in Jamaica or in Trinidad. And with me pushing CELPIP, 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 then the question from my clients would be like, well, where do we take it in the Caribbean? It's like, well, it's not there. So, so I would always encourage if you're planning a trip to Miami, you could do it there. So now I'm not too embarrassed when I say CELPIP is recommended and you could take it in Jamaica, you know? So I'm really, really excited for that. That was maybe the only part of this webinar I was looking forward to. Just kidding, Patrick. I wanted to see you too, but it's really good news. And it gives our Caribbean people that option A, option B, where they could go and take. Either way, like if you're coming from a smaller island like Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, you still have to fly anyway. So whether you're flying to Jamaica or you're flying to Trinidad, I want to say it's about the same price. So again, having this available in Jamaica means a lot for us in the Caribbean. And I really do look forward for more CELPIP locations within the Caribbean because when my Caribbean people need to travel to take these tests, was like you're paying almost 1,500 US to
yeah,
travel to those other countries
stop.
for a 3 hour test,
Yeah,
then turn around and come back home, right?
yeah, it's really tough.
So it really is. So having it available on islands where it could maybe be you take a ferry or a boat or a short flight that
Right.
would be about 300, 400 US, it really makes it more affordable for us.
Yeah,
And then it opens up the avenues that more people can travel to take kale or to take CELPIP to be able to migrate to Canada. So, I mean, financially, it's a big blessing for us to have those options. So I'll be on your case, Patrick, like every month.
it's
Hey,
good.
where's the
Please
next
do.
Caribbean? Where's the
Yeah,
next Caribbean? So that we can extend CELPIP there.
right on.
So that's all. Like I said, that was the part I was looking forward to. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to share with us before we leave.
I was just gonna say, yeah, given that now that we're owned by Prometric and Prometric owns facilities for testing in 160 countries,
Mhm.
that will allow us to open in more countries more quickly. Because, for example, in Dominica, there might already be a Prometric test center where we're testing other exams. So it'll be a lot easier for us now to, just implement CELPIP testing in the buildings that we already own, that we're already testing for other tests in. So, yeah, look for a lot of expansion. We're trying to become convenient to test takers all around the world now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Prometric already owns a lot of centers in a lot of countries. So look for those centers to be
Gotcha.
offering CELPIP soon. Yeah, because before we had to partner with a company in that country to
Gotcha.
open a test center, and it took a lot longer because we had to make sure
Right.
if they're trustworthy, they're reliable, they have meet all of our requirements. But now, if we want to open in Dominica, we already have a Prometric center there. We can just
Right.
add CELPIP to that testing
Gotcha.
branch. So
Gotcha.
yeah, things should be coming out rather more quickly now.
Yeah.
And yeah, just follow us and to keep up to date.
Right. And you said you guys are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter
Yes.
as well?
Yeah. Maybe they're
Okay.
gonna get me to dance on TikTok at some point, but right now it's I don't know if I think we have a TikTok for Kale, but not for Celpip yet.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
But how do we know it's the official sites? Again,
Mhm.
if you can share that information with me, so when we send out the emails that they're aware, because there's always some imposter
Definitely.
posing to be a CELPIP this or a CELPIP that. So we want to make sure that the viewers get to the real CELPIP, the authentic. So we
Right.
will put that in the communication out to them. And
For
I
sure.
believe you also sent something as well, right? From CELPIP?
Yeah, I'll give you the official links for each platform.
Okay,
You can also visit
awesome.
the CELPIP website, and then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it has like those icons of
Okay, yes,
Instagram, Facebook, so you can click those to get to our official pages.
right.
Um, yeah, also look for that badge that companies have that are official. So they have those, like for example, on Instagram, and that will let you know that it's a trusted source.
Right.
But yeah, there's tons of scams out there. There's people
Oh, yeah.
promising that, if you buy a score report from them, it'll show the correct scores. So
Right.
just be very wary of that because the government of Canada verifies your scores directly with us. So they would know
Exactly.
if something fishy is going on. So just make sure that
Right.
you're not taking those shortcuts because they could really impact your staying in Canada permanently process. So
Yeah.
yeah, but in
Thanks
the
for,
email, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Thaisa.
no, continue. It's okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say in the email that Thaisa sends out, it's gonna have our correct links there that you can be sure are us.
Yeah. And thanks for bringing up the fraud because, I mean, you guys are seeing all the changes that are going on with Canadian immigration. And the motive behind it is to reduce the amount of fraud that, wiggled its way into Canadian immigration. And
Yeah,
one thing I also say to clients is you may get through now, but if at any point in time IRCC finds out that your initial entry into Canada was based on fraudulent documents or fraudulent information, you could be a citizen 10 years in. They can come back and wipe you off every status that you have in Canada and remove you from the country. A lot of people are like, really? Yes, really. Anytime they can prove that you entered your original document, some documents along the way was fraudulent, the government has every right to wipe you off your citizenship, wipe you off your PR, study permit, whatever it is. And we're seeing the number of students who are on the deportation list because of fraudulent documents they used to enter Canada. So that is why it's important. Look out for that email from us with the real CELPIP platforms. And this is what you need to follow. This is what you need to stick with and not anything else. Oh, I can get you the right scores or I could get you the right documents. Because again, government corresponds that information to CELPIP. And if it cannot match, then you're the one that's in the hot seat.
sure.
So whatever email address that you use to sign up to this webinar when you registered on Zoom, this is the email that will be sending the information to. I am seeing some emails popping in. I'm hoping that I can, or I'll try to before I leave, copy them down just in case you guys are giving us different email addresses from what you signed up with. So that way we can add it to the mailing list. So in the event that you get two emails from us, that's why your email must have been in the sign up list and also in the chat. So I want to thank everybody for coming on today. We had a very good attendance and look out for that email at least by, I would say, Wednesday for the latest. We should have it out, hopefully before. So check your spam, check your junk, check your promotion inboxes, because Google has like 10 different inboxes, which is so annoying. But look out for all of those. The email will most likely come from admin@tabrasaimmigration.ca, which is our email address. And if you have any questions from this webinar, please feel free to send it to the email. We will definitely pass it on to Patrick if it's something we cannot answer, and provide you with the right response. Again, you have the CELPIP website. Feel free to visit them for the study material, test center locations, and any additional CELPIP information that you might need. Patrick, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for joining me today. I owe you maybe a Dominican coffee for taking you 9 minutes over. So I
Sounds
will
good.
mail that to you, I promise you.
Great.
And I'll have Jerusalem send you an Ethiopian one. So that's our gift to you.
I'm all
So
set.
thank you. There you go. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you for always being available to talk to us or provide us with the information that we need, and always so prompt. So we appreciate you, and do have yourself a great weekend and the rest of your day. And the same to everybody else who joined us either through Zoom or our Facebook Live. So have a great day, everyone.
All right. Thanks so much, Thaisa. We'll do another one soon, and always a pleasure speaking with you, and enjoy your weekend as well.
Thank you, Patrick. And Dominica next, okay?
Yes, for sure. Definitely. I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, have a
All
great
right.
one, Patrick.
Take care. You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye. Bye, everybody.